The government of Kenya is working towards reducing the prevalence of malnutrition among children under 5 years of age by 27%, as well as the number of food insecure Kenyans by 50% through reducing the cost of food and increasing the agriculture sector's contribution to the gross domestic product. This is according to a statement read on behalf of Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithi Kalinturi at the Cultivate Africa's Future Food Systems Conference in Nairobi.
We're losing around 30%, but what is happening is that we are, as a government, as a ministry, there is concerted effort to ensure that we are reducing post-harvest losses through good management of our products, that is handling, and also we are also encouraging value addition so that we can have a longer shelf life for our products, that the ones that can be value added in terms of drying, in terms of changing form, maybe processing, and also our big four agenda, manufacturing, and majority of the manufacturing that happens in Kenya is in agriculture product.
And that has excited the smallholder farmers.
Data presented at the conference revealed that Africa's 856 million people are undernourished, making Africa the world's most food insecure region despite the enormous potential for agricultural production on the continent. It was also revealed that in developing countries, including the African continent, 40% of losses occur before the food even hits the market. It is lost during and immediately following harvest, as well as in the processing and transport. About 30% of the grains produced and close to 90% of fruits and vegetables are lost before they reach the consumers, owing to inadequate post-harvest management, lack of structured markets, inadequate storage in households and on farms, and limited processing capacity.
IDRC has highly involved in the research and supporting researchers in Africa to respond to the food crisis. We have been in Africa for over 50 years, and in the case of Cultivate Africa, our partnership with ACIR, with the Australian Centre of International Agricultural Research, we actually have been working on, you asked, what is some of the benefits? I think the first benefit is to remember that the research for the last 10 years in this program has been made by Africans and African institutions and African researchers and African students, with the collaboration in some moments with other universities. And I think that's something to remember, because that will stay here. This is not about capacity building, this is not about bringing others' expertise, it's about really listening to the solutions that African researchers can bring to the problems of Africans. So how this responds to some of the problems of African farmers by working with them.
A number of similarities between Australia and Kenya when it comes to our climate and our geography. And precisely because livestock is a very critical part of Australia's rural economy, we're seeing that there are many lessons that have been learned in Australia and how we've adapted to droughts and semi-arid terrains, that we can still enable livestock production to occur.
Scientists work really hard on doing the research projects, learning about different agricultural techniques, working with farmers, but actually transferring that knowledge to new funders or to the government and others so that they can influence policy is a really important thing for them to do. Sometimes when people are dealing with technical information and they're a technical specialist, they don't have the necessary skills to convince others that this is what should be done, to talk to non-technical people about what they should do. So wherever I can, I like to encourage scientists to share their research in a way that people can understand it by telling the stories of impact and how the projects have helped people's families, the differences they've made to communities. So I think that's a really very, very important thing.
The project was hosted by the International Development Research Centre (IDRC) and the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research (ACIAR). The two organizations have sponsored a program christened Cultivate Africa's Future Fund or CultiAF and funded programs in selected countries in Eastern and Southern Africa, including Ethiopia, Kenya, Malawi, Mozambique, Uganda, Zambia and Zimbabwe. The projects that have since been closed out aimed at improving food and nutrition security through innovation, increasing productivity and profitability for smallholder farmers, including women and youth, and building partnerships to achieve impact at scale. For KTN Farmers TV, I'm Paul Thiongo.